𝐷radio.com.
All right. What do you know? What do you know? I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go with the home team. They are your home team. I got hot coffee. I'm in the comfy, cozy bureau where the AC's working, which is really what we need right about now. Wherever you are, hope you have some AC working. Beeves here. He's making this happen. He's the reason this show is on the air. And you're the reason we have a reason to be on the air. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening, coming by. You can be a part of it. You can text me on the Country Pleasing text line at 885-3776. Text line wide open to you. Whatever you want to get into is fine with me. 885-3776. That's the number to text. Let me hear from you. Country Pleasing sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. Call me. On the junction phone, the number to call, 897-1059. That's a 601 number, 897-1059. I almost got caught not paying attention to the show about to start. I had to pour myself some coffee real quick and hit the stream button over there for everybody on the live stream. Hey to you, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. If y'all comment, if you're looking at the live stream, it comes in here to the computer. We can put it up on the screen. You can be a part of the show that way. Appreciate you doing that. I was sending a text over here to Jason Swaim. He is a former University of Tennessee wide receiver, and is from Huntsville, Alabama, I believe. I think he's originally from Huntsville, but he's been named the Tennessee Volunteer Network color analyst. So he's going to be in the booth with Mike Keith at Tennessee for their radio broadcast. Jason will do a really good job, and he's been doing radio and that kind of thing in the recent years, I think. But anyway, great guy, good for him. Just saw that. Yes, I was texting as the show began. You ever do that? You're supposed to be you're supposed to be paying attention and working, and you're doing something else on your phone, and you look up and go, whoa, wait a minute. Click, made it. Not that I wasn't looking forward to the show starting. I definitely was. It's just I just wasn't paying attention. All right. I'm paying attention now. Get on in here. Anything you want to get into. I tell you what, here was something earlier today that I saw, got my attention, and I thought, yeah, this definitely will have the attention of Saints fans. Did y'all see this? Taysom Hill won't be returning to the New Orleans Saints for a 10th season. He confirmed that in a social media post last night. Mr. Do-It-All. They didn't mean it as a joke. It's just I got a little chuckle out of it, because you don't ever see this. And it was like a graphic someone put on social media about him moving on. And instead of saying, like running back or even running back or quarterback slash tight end, it was running back, quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, kick returner. I mean, it was like all these positions when describing him. He didn't say whether he intends to retire, left the door open to playing somewhere else. First public comments for Taysom Hill since the end of last season. He thanked the Saints, thanked the fans for 9 seasons in New Orleans. Explained that he's taking time this offseason to figure out what comes next. Here's a quote from his statement. I still don't have a clear answer about what the future holds, but I know that returning to New Orleans is not in the cards. Quote, as training camp begins, I didn't want my silence to be misinterpreted, and as hard as it is to put it into words, I wanted to express my gratitude. He's always been known as kind of that Swiss Army knife of football, frankly, for that matter. Now, my friend / producer Beaver here on this show has a friend who is a diehard Saints fan that I don't know that any of us know his name. We only know him as Saints Bro because that's what Beaver has always called him. And like I've said in the past, I mean, anytime I hit the Beaver Always Sunny in Jackson music, there's always a chance that somebody like Bill is in there distracting him where he can't talk. But we're going to give it a shot. Beaver, are you there? Come in, Beaver.
I'm here.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm pretty good.
You missed me since Tuesday? Don't answer that. Don't answer that. Beav, how does your friend Saints Bro feel about the Taysom Hill news?
We both don't care for it, but it was completely expected. It's funny because we just talked about it this morning, and we had another good laugh because there was another article out that used the phrase Swiss Army knife. We've laughed for a few years now at the overused, at which you just did. Of course you did.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Swiss Army knife. So, of course, you fell into that trap.
Well, I was trapped by the article I'm reading this off of because there it is right there in the third paragraph of the story. Quote, Hill was known as the, quote, end quote, Swiss Army knife during his time in New Orleans. So it's even included in writing, B.
I mean, it was it was accurate, but it became one of those things that was so ridiculously overused. Every time Taysom Hill was in on a play, there's the Swiss Army knife.
Hey, would you say he's very beloved by Saints fans?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah. So it is a little bit, even though you kind of thought it might be coming, it still is a little bit of a punch in the gut, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's not as far as thinking he was going to contribute to the team after coming back from that injury last year in very limited action. It was clear he just was not the same.
Right.
So in that regard, but a dude who is such a Swiss Army knife, he became beloved because he is that.
Yeah.
So it's sad to see him go a little bit, but now he can fulfill the wishes I've had for him for 2 years now, and that is to go to Denver and reunite with Sean Payton.
Well, gosh, on a really good football team, okay, who didn't Sean Payton have them in the playoffs last year, or am I wrong?
Yeah. They were in the AFC Championship, and I still maintain, I still have very little doubt that if it weren't for Jarrett Stidham starting that game, they would have gone to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, if you'd had Bo Nix. Well,
and I'm not even a fan of, I hate should've, would've, could've's.
Yeah, right.
But in that, I feel like it was obvious from the second it was announced that Nix was going to be out that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Jarrett Stidham. You're not going to rely on Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah. It totally changed everything. That's a good point. Man, that would be, for a guy like Taysom Hill, if it's going to be one of these 1 year, just give it one more shot type of things, that would be what makes the most sense. Ed's old school Ed on the text line, the country pleasing text line, agrees with you, Beaver. He says Taysom Hill to the Denver Broncos, Super Bowl bound, needs to hop on a train, go Broncos, stomp KC to start the season. Love you, Matt. Thanks a lot, Ed. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Mahomes does not look 100% to me in what little bit of the video I've seen. Like that knee still buckles. Have you seen that, B?
Yeah, I did see that. I'll tell you what else I saw now that we're on this. This morning, and, we love social media and ESPN. They love this time of year in training camp where they show the simplest little 15-yard pass, and we show it on a loop and say, look at this throw. Look at this throw. And this morning was seriously Patrick Mahomes taking 3 steps back and throwing a 15-yard pass to Travis Kelce. And I saw it on a loop. They played it 6 times, and underneath it was the words, Mahomes finds Kelce in traffic.
It sounds like the way you describe that, it'd be a great Saturday Night Live skit. Mahomes finds Kelsey in traffic, but it's literally in traffic, Beeve, like out on the interstate. Cars whizzing by. Yeah, I don't, the Chiefs are not the Chiefs unless it's 100% healthy Patrick Mahomes, and it's going to be a little while, looks like to me. Yeah, Tony, that'd be instead of Swiss Army knife, we could say 5-tool player. It's just 5 totally different tools that are unrelated. He can throw, he can run, he can kick, he can catch. That's it. All right. Just getting started with you. Your texts and comments coming up in the Bureau on this Thursday. Back after this.
Jake Mangum here. When I'm at the plate, I'm always looking for an edge. So when I'm shopping for auto insurance, I'm always looking to save. That's why
Hey,
I'm
let me
going
tell you
with
about a couple of things that you might want to take a look at. First up, there's a whole new series of football videos that I have begun on the YouTube channel this summer, and it's going to go all throughout the fall, all the way through football season this year. One is an early week upload called Football IQ, where I kind of talk through some concept ideas related to watching football as a fan. Later in the week, there's an upload series called Matt Explains, where I take one specific football term or concept and kind of break that X's and O's down for you, where again, you as a fan can watch it, learn it, and then watch football games differently and enjoy watching those. We just started a Saturday, Sunday, once a weekend live stream called Coffee with Matt. That'll take place probably on Sunday nights and every now and then a Saturday. Sports, that'll be fun too when we get into the season when there's games. And then the fourth thing I want to make you aware of for viewers of the radio show, listeners to the radio show, if you like the Mississippi Outdoors podcast, I've started a new YouTube channel called Off the Air with Matt. And I'll put a link on the screen right here, but you can just look it up on YouTube, Off the Air with Matt Wyatt. And what that is sort of a weekly, once a week show behind the scenes of what it's like for someone who talks on the radio and does podcasts and does ball games and stuff. And it's what life off the air is like. And so got one of those shows up. Last week was the first week. This will be week 2. Kind of currently shooting behind the scenes for some of that stuff. So you may enjoy that too. Anyway, just wanted to give you a heads up. You've got Football IQ, concepts that you can learn as a fan to help you enjoy watching football more. Matt Explains, and there's a whole playlist for that. X's and O's, specific things. And again, you can learn it, helps you enjoy it more as a fan. The weekend live stream, Coffee with Matt, which will be on the YouTube channel going forward. I'd love to see you over there. And the new YouTube project, Off the Air with Matt Wyatt, it's there on YouTube. Take a look and see what you think. Love to see you over there. It's kind of tough to drop them off. No, you're not going to see them for a week. Hey, bud. Hey, where we going? Huh? Come on. All right, Mary, we're about to be in Alabama, and you know what your mama says? She says, you'd think Nick Saban could have 4-lane this road if he wanted to. Vacation. What do you think about it? You work hard. You're supposed to work hard. We are supposed to work hard. Okay, and then where's the fine line in resting, being still? Okay, I was still saying, you stop and smell the roses. This week a senator passed away, and it was sudden. One day he's working and overseas and sort of being an ambassador for the United States and other areas, and then he comes home, and the next thing you know, click, he's gone. And so kind of thing that happens every day with people we know and people we love, where you're reminded we just don't know. You don't know how many days you have. You don't know how many hours. You know, it's a guarantee that at some point life will be over and we'll have unfinished projects and unfinished business and things we were going to clean up that we didn't. And, you know, you see those things, it's a reminder. Also had a story this week in Mississippi on the coast about a young man, 18 years old, who passed away. I know his dad. I was a teammate of his in college, and that's his 19-year-old son.
And worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. Text, call, or comment on the live stream. Hey, to you, there's the other beaver, the Beaver Hunt 1 on YouTube. It's Paul. He said, afternoon, guys, got you on YouTube today. Well, welcome in, Paul. Glad you're here. Chris on YouTube, all caps. Check this out. Chris and I both got the day right today. Hail State Thursday, all caps, he says. And on Facebook, Grayson, hello to you. Thanks for popping in there. Feel free to be a part of the show. Y'all drop a comment in there. We can get to it. We have, let's see, today, team number 37 on the countdown of 80 teams in 80 days. It means we're 37 days away from Saturday, September 5th. You curious when everybody's starting practice? Here's the rule. Do the math. You know, some schools are starting on Thursday night. Some schools are starting the week before. State, Ole Miss, Southern Miss, all starting on September 5th. Wait, wrong. Ole Miss is not the 5th. They're the 6th or the 7th, aren't they? But the earliest we have in Mississippi is the 5th. All right. 25 to 30 days, usually before the opening weekend. So the rule is teams are allowed to start their 29-day preseason practice period exactly 35 days before the first Thursday or Saturday game of the season. And it's like you choose how you want to dictate the calendar with 29 practices that you can squeeze into 35 days. So give or take a day or two, everybody gets started, you know, coming up right about now. I mean, today is a Thursday, the 30th. So I'm guessing today was probably report day, if not yesterday, I would think, for most of the SEC schools, and then practice will probably begin this weekend or something like that. We ought to be getting pretty close. Here was a note. When I looked at it, it says most schools open camp during the final days of July. Texas, for example, is starting practice today on the 30th. Others tomorrow. Some programs officially report and hit the field during the first week of August. So, and they're expecting Florida next week, about a week from today. South Carolina, they're waiting a week later than everybody else, starting next weekend. It says teams use this window for roughly 25 preseason practice sessions, including full squad workouts and scrimmages, before shifting the focus to game week preparation for late August, early September openers. And, I think the rules now have been the same for probably the last 10 years or so. So if you want a history lesson on how you can't, or according to the NCAA, how you're allowed to practice, back in my day, it feels so bad saying that. And back when I was playing, all those years ago, yeah, we would have like 15 straight days of two-a-day practices. And so if you don't know what a two-a-day practice is, it's exactly what you think. 2 practices a day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. And we'd have like 15 straight days of that. So just a day over 2 weeks. You'd practice twice a day every day. Now, it wasn't full pads all 15 of those days, all 30 practices in 15 days. because they had a limit on the number of full pad practice. But you would have usually 3 to 4 days in a row where you'd put on full pads in the morning, go in, get an IV drip, eat, maybe a nap, then have your afternoon meetings and full pad up and go back out there and do it again in the afternoon. And I'm just telling you, after about 6 to 7 days of that, 2 practices a day, full pads, hot, everybody just totally loses track of even what day it is. You don't know what day of the week. You don't know what day the number of day is, whether it's the 10th or the 12th. You don't know. You just lose track. You don't care anymore. You hit a wall where you kind of don't care. And they slowly start bringing you out of it and resting you up because you got a season coming along. Then somewhere, I'm going to guess it was probably somewhere in that 2009-10 window. You'd have to look it up. I could be way off. But somewhere in there, the NCAA handed down a mandate that you couldn't do that anymore. You could not have consecutive days of two-a-days. Like, so if you went 2 practices today, tomorrow you could only have 1. You couldn't do back-to-back days of two-a-days. Well, then a few years after that, they came back in, I don't know if it's 2012, 13, when it was, and said, oh, now we're going to add to it. Not only can you not have back-to-back days of two-a-day practices, you also can't have consecutive days of full pads, full contact practices. So if you go out it's fall camp, and you go out on a Tuesday and you're full pads and hit each other in scrimmage full speed, well, by George, on Wednesday, you can't, according to this rule. So, as the old guys have joked, when we go out to practice and watch them, we're like, man, this is so easy compared to what we used to have to do. But I'm sure the guys like from the old, the Bear Bryant Junction days were saying that about us, But I think it does keep them healthier, that's for sure. And then one thing teams started doing, if you've noticed this, they got around it by, they weren't technically full pads, but they would have what do they call those? The shell pads kind of underneath their shorts. Up top, they might have shoulder pads, helmets, and they still hit each other. They're still blocking, tackling. It's just, maybe you don't tackle everybody to the ground. So there's ways that they get around it. But it's fall camp. That said, the fact that you can't have consecutive days of two-a-days, you have a limited number of practices you can squeeze in a month. It's going to average somewhere around just less than 1 practice a day. Is going to average for those 35 days that you're allowed to practice leading up to the start of the season. Well, man, that's not a lot of time to get them ready for that first game. So it's no wonder that over the last, decade and a half, the trend became the norm that none of those ball players go home during the summer. It's school, quote unquote, year round, because it's really football year round. All summer long, it's lifting, training, getting ready, unofficial team activities, getting together, throwing, going through drills and stuff so that you can hit fall practice and kind of pick it up. You're not, guys aren't just coming in after being at home for a month. And that's how they get around to get them ready to play. J-Rock on the Country Pleasing text line. What's up? You said, hey, man, I was just wondering, is there somebody sneaking around counting how many practices these guys have and keep tabs on them? I wonder if you would get caught if you went over the limit by a couple. Yeah, that's a good question, actually. Hey, I'll tell you another one, J-Rock, along the same lines. Over the last ever how many years, they had a limit, pretty strict limit on the number of on-field coaches you could have, not only on your staff, but participating in practice, right? Like the idea was you would get in trouble if you went over that. And let's say you had an analyst, somebody who's brought in and they're an offensive analyst. And if they were out at practice coaching up players and doing drills and they weren't supposed to, right? And that was another one. You go, well, who's checking that? Exactly, no one. Is kind of what I would think. So you probably just practice until you get ready. I mean, again, that's what I would think. Paul, thanks for your text. You said that you spent some time yesterday afternoon watching those YouTube videos on the Football IQ series. Very informative and learned a tremendous amount. Thank you. And I appreciate you watching them. Thanks for mentioning that and giving me a way to plug it. Hope y'all enjoy those. Got some more. There's a new one that is publishing tonight on the Matt Explains playlist, and it's about some things that offenses do before they snap the ball that if you didn't know otherwise, you'd think it's a waste of time and energy. Like, why are they doing that? But there's some really good reasons why they run around and shift and all that kind of stuff before the snap. So you may enjoy that one. That'll post tonight. Let's see. Let's do it. We'll hit the countdown of 80 teams in 80 days. Team number 37 coming up next. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's a whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Orgeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA.
Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roast it right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Ah, tried and true. Magnolia.
Right now on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. Just rolling along here today on a Thursday in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau all across the great state of Mississippi. Hometown heroes, that's your local Farm Bureau insurance agents. Give them a ring, check them out, and ask them about the new health insurance plan that's offered by Farm Bureau, which is powered by Blue Cross. You'd be surprised how much you can save, especially like me. You've been paying for your own for a while. You will be surprised, most likely. All right, get on in here. Yeah, you can text me on the Country Pleasing text line. The number to text is 885-3776. 601 number, 885-3776. Call me on the junction phone, 897-1059. If you forget those numbers, then look at the live stream. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. You can see it down here, scrolling along the bottom of the screen right there. There go the numbers. If you ever forget those. And I'll give them to you again. By the way, you can comment on the live stream also. Just another way to be a part of the show. Okay, we're counting them down. 80 teams across 80 days leading up till Saturday, September 5th. Today we're at 37. Okay, and you might or might not recognize the fight song. I don't know. We'll see. Team number 37 on the countdown is... How do they do it? How they do the horns is Texas. The Texas Longhorns. I can't ever remember if my thumb goes out on the hook'em or not. I don't come from not growing up in the Big 12, I don't remember all the hand signs they do. Like TCU's got one and Texas Tech, and they do that. They do the gun. But the horns... Is it just this and you do your thumb in front, or does your thumb go out I don't remember. They have another song their band plays all the time. Hey, and I'll tell you this. The loudest cannon inside of a stadium I've ever heard in my life, not close. In the heart of Texas, they say. Yeah, they have a really fine atmosphere for their home games and stuff. We got to go out there a couple of years ago and see it for the first time. Annabeth and Mary Liddy got to make the trip with me. My first cousin from Alabama, her dad and my dad are brothers. Mary Ellen, she's an Alabama grad, but she lives in Austin. She's a lawyer out there. And her son's name is Wyatt, and they got to sit with them during the game, and it was just a really fun trip. Of course, Texas won the game. That was the year that Van Buren was the quarterback for State as a true freshman. Remember that? Forced into action, somebody got hurt or something. Yeah, anyway, Chapin got hurt. That's what it was. Yeah, so that trip, out there, seeing the campus, seeing their stadium, it was great. They really nice stadium, big, not as, it doesn't look, feel anything as big as some of the others, but I mean, it's big. But there's not a bad seat in it. Everybody's close to the field. And like I said, everybody's pretty nice too. You didn't know what to expect, but I mean, everybody's pretty nice. They were just kind of happy to be there. They knew they were going to win the game that day, so that was, I guess, maybe one difference. But, yeah, that cannon, look. They got the Longhorn steer down there 2 or 3 guys with ropes. And I remember looking at that thinking, man, the only thing stopping that Longhorn from going wherever he wants to is himself. He just thinks those ropes will hold him, and that's why. Because if he knew, he could just go. Like, those aren't going to hold him. Yeah, and then they have the cannon. Maybe it was because they had it pointed right at us on the press box side, but man, it is the loudest cannon I've ever heard in a stadium. But a good atmosphere. You got to go to one of their games if you get the chance. We stayed kind of outside, maybe 10 or 12 miles outside of Austin, so it's not like we were staying in Austin, so I can't really speak to that. Went through Waco on the way out there. Saw the Chip and Joanna Gaines silos on the trip. Anyhow, let's talk football. Last year, Texas finished 6-2 in the SEC. Now, in terms of SEC record, it was second best. Last year, you had 4 teams at the top of the league who were 7-1 in league play. That would be Ole Miss, Georgia, Texas A&M, and Alabama. And then you had 3 who were tied at 6-2, so the second best record in the league, and that was Texas, Oklahoma, and Vandy. Now, all 3 of those had the same overall record too. They were 10-3 last year. How did it happen? Well, of course, they lost the opener to Ohio State, and look, I'm telling you, it was a 14-7 game. But even here, a year later, almost, if you want to, for those who watch like those videos I do, and you like to sort of gain some knowledge and educate yourself on what's happening in football, go look it up. The Big Ten Network put out about a 10-minute video of Urban Meyer doing chalk talk, telestrating and drawing it up, how Ohio State's defense confused Arch Manning in that game with what they called simulating pressure. It's fascinating. Go watch that. It's somewhere out there on YouTube. So they lost the opener to Ohio State. Then they won 3 in a row against San Jose State, UTEP, and Sam Houston. Really weren't challenged. Went on the road to Florida the first weekend in October last year and lost that one to the Gators 29-21. Immediately go on a win streak. Beat Oklahoma 23-6. That was when Mateer was like what? He had been banged up and he tried to come back and play with that thumb, but you could tell he was just different. So that was a big story of that game to me. And Arch played well. They had back-to-back road wins in overtime. They went to Kentucky and won 16-13 in overtime. Then went to State and won 45-38 in overtime, and that's with State having a big fourth-quarter lead and couldn't hold it. Then they beat Vandy 34-31. Had to go to Georgia, lost that one, got whipped by 25 points, 35-10. That was their 3rd loss of the year. Finished the regular season with wins over Arkansas and Texas A&M, and whipped up on Michigan in a bowl game. And so that was their 10th win. So it was a 9-win regular season. Their 10th win a year ago came in a bowl game. This year for Arch and the Horns, in 37 days, Saturday, September 5th, they're going to host Texas State for season opener. And then week 2, they'll host Ohio State for the rematch of that. Should be interesting. Week 3, UTSA, and finish up September at Tennessee. It's their first road game. It's at Tennessee. It's also their first conference game. Whole lot of orange, different colors, whole lot of T. Yeah, letter T. October games for Texas this year. They play Oklahoma in that rivalry neutral site deal. They take the first weekend in October off. Then second game in October, they host Florida. A week later, they host Ole Miss. And on Halloween, they host Mississippi State. So how about that? They have one open date in October. That's the first weekend in October. And then all 4 games in October are home games for Texas. 4 straight. Well, I say home games in their state. They play Oklahoma and Dallas, and then Florida, Ole Miss, and State, all 3 coming to Austin. So then November, it balances out because in November, Texas has 3 of 4 on the road. They have to go to Missouri. They have to go to LSU. They'll come back and host Arkansas and finish the year road game at Texas A&M. They're playing that one on Friday after Thanksgiving, the 27th this year. So that's a little bit of a look at the Longhorns' schedule. All right, so Arch Manning. What's his progression? I'm going to look at this next and just kind of see from one year to the next, right? Because last season was really his first year as the full-time starter, beginning of the season to the end. The year before that, aren't I right? The year before that, he was more or less a backup and had to play some because of the injury to the other guy, right? So we'll take a look at some of that, see how he's coming along. I kind of have a feeling he's going to really explode this year, but we shall see. All right, what do you think? Coming to your text, Boomer Sooner, Jason, and the rest of y'all, and your comments, Rick and JS290 on the live stream. All that and more after this. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Delis, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton, but we say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country-pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere
and never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do, at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights.
Back with you in the Bureau, Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. I'm Matt. Rick on Facebook. Hey, Rick. Hey, and thanks for the gift in the mail, man. I appreciate it. You said a couple of questions. When does football practice start for state? So we were talking about that earlier. I think they're all there, reported. So they're either going to practice, tomorrow, maybe Saturday. Saturday could be the first. I'll try to find out, let you know. And then, regarding football practice, does it ever get too hot to just call it off and go fishing? Well, no, not at the college level. They'll just go inside if they ever felt that way. But really, you got to deal with the heat, and you can be careful with it, but it probably is better for your team to be out in that heat and get used to it. It's hard to do. In Mississippi, for example, in the High School Activities Association, they have a rule about, temperatures that you have to track them at practice. If it reaches a certain temperature or above inside that little glass bubble that they measure it, then you can't practice. And so they're trying to help them to be smart about it. And it's really hot for sure. JS290, you said even my elderly dad was wondering why Levy wasn't burning clock against Texas. Called it an offensive coordinator mentality. Yeah, there is, I think, a fine line, even with the lead, a fine line between your still being aggressive, playing to win instead of playing not to lose, and at the same time, intelligently, smartly burning as much of the clock as you can and keeping the ball away from them. It's honestly, JS290, it's been so long ago, I sort of shuffled it right on out of my memory. I don't even remember too many details towards the end of that game. I need to go back and watch it again. Yeah, we got it right this time. Will, happy Thursday YouTube date right. I got it fixed. Hail State fan, you said, here's my annual reminder that Coach Sherrill is ranked in the top 40 for career wins. How about that? Huh? Heck of a coach. He could put it together. He could put the whole operation together, that's for sure. Boomer Sooner, thanks for your text. We were talking about Texas today on the countdown of 80 teams. You said, Matt, the most important thing to remember about the horn sign is that to make sure that your fingers are pointed in a downward direction. Horns down. Boomer Sooner, do Texas fans really get offended by that? Really, it's not even that big of a deal. Do they really genuinely get bothered by that? And I guess my question would be, if they do, why? It's a big deal. Jason in Flagstaff, Arizona, you said, it popped up on Twitter this morning, whether triple option, wishbone, wing T, etc. type of offenses would work in today's college football. And you said, I think they would in theory, but in practice it's hard to teach beginners and would take longer to develop than programs have time with the players in this era. The opposite of why the service academies are so good at it. What do you think? I think you're right on. Yeah, you can't count on any player. I don't care what the conversation has been and where they're from and how strongly you feel that they want to be there and all that. I don't care about any of that. You can only count on having somebody for 1 year. If you get them for more than that, just thank them. I think it's kind of where things are. So, yeah, you are not going to see it because then other players around the country can't just transfer in there and pick it right up. And the other side of that coin, Jason, is why certainly over the last 3 years, a little bit before that, but certainly what I'm about to say started setting in over the last 3 years, is everybody's offense is the same. It all looks the same. They're running the same plays, the same schemes, same reads, little RPO variations and down and distance stuff because of your personnel. And when you go, well, there's some different ones. I mean, look at Missouri's. Okay, Missouri's was a little different than, say, like Ole Miss's offense. But still a lot of pass game stuff and situational stuff was very similar. And the only real difference would be, if we just dial right down to it, Missouri's using a tight end hand on the line. Maybe Ole Miss has got one split out, or some other Texas has got one split out, Texas use a little more pre-snap motion to try to help their young quarterback than other teams do. I mean, but other than that, kind of ubiquitous offense really out there across the whole of the sport. And all right, Jason, here comes what's going to sound like an old guy rant, but it's not. I'm just stating facts. Today's game has a certain look to it because all the offensive linemen are zone stepping in all the RPO schemes and stuff. And whenever they're running something that could be a run play or a pass play, depending on the read of the quarterback, then the linemen have to stay where? Within that 3-yard, window or box of the line of scrimmage, so that it's legal to be run blocking but allow the quarterback to throw it if the defense gives you something else. It's the whole premise of the RPO deal. So the game just kind of looks soft at times in the line of scrimmage. It looks that way compared to old stuff. Like I was telling you, those games in the 70s, 80s. Go pull up an early 80s or late 70s game on YouTube. And no, it won't be HD, but you'll be shocked at just how it almost looks like wrestling. It's like they're all just getting running starts and bam, slamming into each other, as compared to kind of what it is now. So I remember several years ago, you might remember this, Jason, when Paul Johnson was the head coach at Georgia Tech and they were running the midline veer triple option. Beat State in the Orange Bowl with it in 2014, and their quarterback was from Prattville High School in Alabama, little Justin Thomas. But I remember it was always such a refreshing change to then watch his team at Georgia Tech, because all of the linemen were firing off going forward. They're like getting down close to the ground. And when you said hut, man, those linemen were like shot out of a cannon, because the way they're trying to block people is hit them and move them down the field and trapping people all the time. And, sometimes you'd see, it's relatively modern day. It's a decade ago until they fired him. But you'd have times you'd see some of his linemen, they'd be in a 4-point stance. You just don't see any of that anymore. So now it's all lateral steps and zone run blocking with those lateral steps to create cutback lanes and lanes for running back to get in, because you're zoning it backside and reading it play side and that kind of thing. And the linemen have to stay within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage, or else they're going to get a penalty if the quarterback throws the ball. See, so it has a whole different look now than it used to. JB, the original John Bond, number 13 in your program, number 1 in your heart. John Bond texted the show and said blocking rules have changed so much that it would be hard to make it work. Plus, says, what idiot's going to want to volunteer to run it? He said, you'd have to be a real dummy to want to run that wishbone. That's the truth. It's the truth, John. I love you. No, it's just what it was. My man John, we've laughed before about how now in the zone read offenses, the quarterback's in the shotgun and he seats the ball and is reading the defensive end who's standing up way over there 5 yards away. Whereas when John was playing, he's under center. Okay, and picture this. There's a 3-technique defensive tackle, which what that means is you could almost reach over by your offensive guard and tap that guy on the helmet. Like he's that close to the quarterback. And you're not going to block him on purpose. I'm going to turn and I'm going to read on that give or keep. And we ain't blocking that guy right there. Like he can whisper to me and I can hear him, and we're not going to block, and I got to read him. Yeah, that's what you got to do. So like John said, why would anybody want to do that? It's a whole different game now, buddy. Live in that pocket and just throw the football. But, run it out there in space. Whole different game. Hour 1 is in the books. Hour 2 coming up after this. Here in the Bureau. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links, bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash, and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwhyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwhyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the
stuff you need to know right here on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you, hour 2. Here we go. Hey, I am extra thankful for this hot coffee that I have in this cup today from High Point Roasters in New Albany, Mississippi. Go to highpointroasters.com and get your coffee because I'm extra thankful because I'm extra tired and worn out, and for no reason that I know of. I'm talking about just, you ever have a day like that? Can't explain it. Thought you slept just fine the night before. Can't figure, why in the world would I be standing here in the middle of the day so drowsy? I'll tell you this much, if not for this hot coffee, I might be in real trouble. Just doze right off on live radio. I don't know, it might go viral. It might be good. It might be better than what I'm doing. I don't know. Might get a bigger audience. Just snoring. Anyhow, what is that? Is that just part of getting old? Is there some other explanation? I did not think last night was a night where I tossed and turned densely. I mean, I got up early, but I get up early every day. Man, I'm leaning on that coffee this particular show this Thursday. And you, leaning on you for your texts and comments and phone calls and whatnot and things and such, as my friend in Prattville used to say, and things and stuff. Text me on the Country Pleasing text line at 885-3776, a 601 number. Commit it to memory, 885-3776. You can also keep me awake by calling me on the Junction phone. Junction delis all across the state of Mississippi, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Maybe that's it, as I hadn't heard the train yet. Maybe that's what I need. The Junction train. Junction Deli's fueled by Prince Oil Company. They've been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. So the number to call the show, 897-1059, 601 number, 897-1059. Maybe I need I got coffee that I can drink and taste. Maybe I need some audible coffee, shot of adrenaline, little boost, known as the JSU Sonic Boom. Maybe that's what we need on the show today. Come on, maybe that's it. By the way, I'm coming to your comments on the live stream, JS290. Paul and Craig. Your text, Dog Tired, Kenny, Jason, Josh, John, others. Possum Neck Joe. Coming to you. Hang on a minute. Hey, and you know this. You know the Sonic Boom is out there practicing in this heat. They're earning it. Yeah, now I feel better. That's what I needed. Needed to damage my eardrums. That wakes me right up. JS290, you texted and said, passing in high school has gotten so much better. Air Raid, just a passing version of triple option, which it kind of, is from a philosophy standpoint. But yeah, that is true too. Quarterbacks coming up, younger ones coming up, and they're so much better throwing the ball. They've been 7-on-7 this and 7-on-7 that for 3-4 years before they ever even reach, 18 years old. And so they're better at throwing the ball. Coach better. It's farther along for sure. For sure. JS290, you said on YouTube, former intern played for Paul Johnson at Georgia Tech. And he said that Coach Johnson would call the same play until defense stopped it. Very old school, but it makes sense, right? And the thing is, it's like you have something you know how to run, and on this particular play, they don't appear to know how to stop it, and we've got options. You know what I mean? It's like the RPO stuff. It's not like you're just calling the kind of plays we would run a lot of times back in the old days of high school, JS 290 in the 90s, where you go, I ride, inside lead, left. Okay, well, there ain't no option. We're handing that off, and it's lead. I don't care what they line up in. Because a lot of times you weren't even checking off, right? Now there's lots of reads, but if you're in that option offense, it all has reads built into it. They do a certain thing, and they fall in, and you're going to pull and go to that pitch man, and he either takes pitch or takes quarterback, and you play off of that. Hey, but talking about John Bond running that wishbone, how pretty were those plays back in the day where it would get to the edge and, the end man would take the pitch and force John as the quarterback to turn it up. Then you go to the next level, and the pitch actually happens then off a safety or a corner or something way down the field. And that little pitch to the sideline, and he catches it, and pew, there he goes. I mean, it is a beautiful thing when it worked. I agree, Craig. And see, John may even be listening. He may even hear this. And it's not that he doesn't already know it. But Craig on YouTube says, John Bond, forever a football legend at Mississippi State. He is that. Earned every bit of it, too. Sore, beat up. My man. All right. Let's see here. Kenny, don't call me Ken. You texted the show. Was this during my first ever high school football practice in Avon, Mississippi, 1979. Sweat pooled up in my eye sockets. Burning and blinding me. And I remembered wondering if it was legal to work people this hard in this kind of heat. And then I heard, okay, wind sprints, line up. Then after that, goal line. I'm telling you, man. Kenny, I'm telling you. See, and you came along, like if you were playing in the late 70s, 80s, it was, they were trying their best to see if they couldn't get you to quit every single day. We're going to find out everybody was going Bear Bryant. Bless y'all's heart. And they thought if they gave you water, it meant you were weak. And it would make you weak. It wouldn't give you much water. Dog Tired in Florence, thanks for your text. You said the loudest pregame event in the 80s when the Navy jets flew over Memorial Stadium in Jackson. At the time, I was volunteering with the Red Cross, and that flyover caused 3 heart episodes in the crowd with the fans. Really? Furthermore, it was rumored that the Navy pilots were reprimanded for the use of the afterburners too close to the ground at next to the speed of sound. Huh. So about what would that time frame have been, Dog Tired, when that happened? Seems like I've caught rumors of that over the years too. Josh, talking about being asleep. I wondered if it's just an age thing where you have these days where you just, for what, no reason, just sleepy. Thought I slept good. Josh, you said it'd be like that time that 𝐁𝐮𝐫𝐞𝐚𝐮 fell asleep when you were interviewing him on the radio. Yeah, Richard and I were interviewing 𝐁𝐿𝐶𝐫𝐞𝐚𝐮 on the phone. It was a phone interview, and it's like there was nothing unusual about the timing. Like you call him during a commercial break, he's on, he's ready. Okay, we come back from commercial. It's time to start the interview. We started. By the time we started, he'd already fallen asleep. Bless his heart. He was sleepy, fell asleep, and I got tickled. It's one of those, I kind of hated it, but I got tickled and I couldn't get untickled. Time I opened my mouth, I was thinking about hearing him going on the other end of the phone. MSU 1980, you said, Matt, it may be the heat that's getting to you even though you like it. And you said it's whooped me. Maybe that's it. I've been in a car a lot lately, but I hadn't been as much out there doing manual labor or anything. I don't know what it is. Will, You said, I almost always come close to blowing the speakers in my Jeep when we strike up the sonic boom. Fire them up. Doesn't it just, there's just something about it. Just something about hearing the sonic boom. It's like you want to turn it up loud. It gets you going. It gives you a little boost of energy. All right, I'm Matt in the Bureau, staying connected to you because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. C Spire, customer inspired. Go to cspire.com. Check out the One Plan, ONE, the One Plan. Get your home internet and your wireless all under one bill, starting at $99 a month. It's a really incredible deal. Check that out at cspire.com, and then we will be right back after this. Stick around.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you about a couple of things that you might want to take a look at. First up, there's a whole new series of football videos that I have begun on the YouTube channel this summer, and it's going to go all throughout the fall, all the way through football season this year. One is an early week upload called Football IQ, where I kind of talk through some concept ideas related to watching football as a fan. Later in the week, there's an upload series called Matt Explains, where I take one specific football term or concept and kind of break that X's and O's down for you, where again, you as a fan can watch it, learn it, and then watch football games differently and enjoy watching those. We just started a Saturday, Sunday, once a weekend live stream called Coffee with Matt. That'll take place probably on Sunday nights and every now and then a Saturday. Sports, that'll be fun too when we get into the season when there's games. And then the fourth thing I want to make you aware of, for viewers of the radio show, listeners to the radio show, if you like the Mississippi Outdoors podcast, I've started a new YouTube channel called Off the Air with Matt. And I'll put a link on the screen right here, but you can just look it up on YouTube, Off the Air with Matt Wyatt. And what that is sort of a weekly, once a week show behind the scenes of what it's like for someone who talks on the radio and does podcasts and does ball games and stuff. And it's what life off the air is like. And so we got one of those shows up. Last week was the first week. This will be week 2. Kind of currently shooting behind the scenes for some of that stuff. So you may enjoy that too. Anyway, just wanted to give you a heads up. You've got Football IQ, concepts that you can learn as a fan to help you enjoy watching football more. Matt Explains, and there's a whole playlist for that. X's and O's, specific things. And again, you can learn it, helps you enjoy it more as a fan. The weekend live stream, Coffee with Matt, which will be on the YouTube channel going forward. I'd love to see you over there. And the new YouTube project, Off the Air with Matt Wyatt, it's there on YouTube. Take a look and see what you think. Love to see you over there. It's kind of tough to drop them off. No, you're not going to see them for a week. Bud. Hey, where we going? Huh? Come on. All right, Mary, we're about to be in Alabama, and you know what your mama says? She says, you'd think Nick Saban could have 4-lane this road if he wanted to. Vacation. What do you think about it? You work hard. You're supposed to work hard. We are supposed to work hard. Okay, and then where's the fine line in resting, being still? Okay, I was still saying, you stop and smell the roses. This week a senator passed away, and it was sudden. One day he's working and overseas and sort of being an ambassador for the United States and other areas, and then he comes home, and the next thing you know, click, he's gone. And so kind of thing that happens every day with people we know and people we love, where you're reminded we just don't know. You don't know how many days you have. You don't know how many hours. You know, it's a guarantee that at some point life will be over and we'll have unfinished projects and unfinished business and things we were going to clean up that we didn't. And, you know, you see those things, it's a reminder. Also had a story this week in Mississippi on the coast about
TheZone1059.com.
I think there's some truth to that. Rick on Facebook, you said the main reason that you have a sluggish day, in my opinion, is how physically tired you were when you went to bed. He said, I always sleep better after I go to the gym or putting in a hard day's work. And I agree with that. I think that is true. Like if you exercise, right? Walk, work hard, lift something, wear yourself out, and then you sleep better, you probably feel better the next day. You know, Teddy Roosevelt said the whole key to life was physical exercise. And I hadn't had much of it. Just telling the truth. I got to get back on that horse. Start exercising all the time. Who's got time for that, though? Like time to just get extra exercise. Who's got time for that? Who's living a life with that kind of time in it? That's a foreign idea to me. Let's see here. Joe Mailman on the Country Pleasing text line. You said bring back John Bond and Hal Mummy for your days off. Seeing if Beaver is paying attention. Oh, Beav, my man. Coach Mummy. I hadn't seen him in a little while. Been in a while. I'm talking about a hoot now. Delta Tide fan. All right, talking about the band. Let me see here. It looks like the message got repeated on the text. I'm going to make sure I'm going to try to start in the right spot here. You texted said, if you think most marching band members during the summertime are suffering in this heat, imagine what it's like on the guy playing the tuba in high school, which was me. And when I got to community college and played a convertible tuba, wait a minute, time out. Time out. Did you just say a convertible tuba? What is that? It says it got even worse because they're much heavier. To put it in perspective, I played a sousaphone in high school, which is the tuba that wraps around you. Okay, all right, got it. Here we go. A convertible tuba is the one that you can convert from marching to concert use simply by changing the lead pipe, which is what the mouthpiece thing goes into. For marching, the instrument is placed on your shoulder, similar to a trombone, only about 50 times heavier. Oh, y'all are out there marching around with that thing on your shoulder, huh? Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know you work hard. The band works their tails off too. That's not easy. Not easy at all. Glad you do it. Unnamed texter, you said... No, this is Paul. Sorry. You said if I've got a couple of John Bond trading cards, could you get him to sign them for me? I can ask him and see. Are they mint? In mint condition? I'll be really impressed. All right. J-Rock, you said regarding the flyover that Dog Tired talked about where people got sick from the noise and what he said. J-Rock said, pretty sure I was at that game at Memorial Stadium. I think State was playing Navy, and it was loud like an actual sonic boom. Like they fly over low and boom. Yeah, okay. Unnamed, you said you think it was 1981. Navy cadets were marching down Woodrow Wilson. Navy had Napoleon McCullum, running back, got drafted in the first round by the Raiders. I remember him. I remember when he got hurt, too. You remember that injury he had on Monday Night Football where his knee bent the wrong way? That was awful. Louvier, my man, it's been a while. You texted and said, I'm sleepy in the afternoon because I was born in 1965 and it's time for my nap. I'm pacing myself for the early bird dinner at Primo's. Now, look, Louvier, 65 was not that long ago, first of all. Secondly, you need to rest up for dinner. Fred, you texted and said, what? You said football practice in the 70s was head on, crazy. Pull up the tree, rope tied to a tree, inner tube tied to a rope, all courtesy of Bull Sullivan. Now, okay, I got questions, Fred. First of all, are you telling me that you played for Bull Sullivan, for the Bull Sullivan at East Mississippi Community College? Question 1B, you're telling me he had a drill where you put the inner tube around you that was tied to a rope that was tied to a tree, and your job was to pull on it till you pull the tree up? What was that punishment? What was that for? I won't give you the long version. I'll give you the short because it's a recap. I've told it before, but in the 50s, I heard a guy tell a story who was coaching at Northeast Community College back then, and he said that they went to play East Mississippi Community College in Scuba. Northeast only had, I think he said, maybe 13 players total. They go down there and they start warming up. Bull Sullivan, who had about 40-something players at Scuba, came walking down there and says, "Is this all you have?" He's like, "Yeah, we got 13. He goes, "Okay." He walked down to his end, picked out 13, made the rest of them go sit in the stands, and they played 13 on 13 that day. Jason, you said driving in the heat will definitely drain you for a few days. I feel a huge difference when I go home in the summer. It's 100 degrees the whole way versus wintertime. Maybe there is something to that. I was in the car a lot Tuesday. What's today? Thursday? I'm afraid it's really simple, Jason. It's age and being fat. I think it's those two things. And I can't do anything about the age, but it's all on me, the whole fat part of it. I got to get rid of this fat. I think that's probably what it is. All right, there's the sousaphone too. Now I recognize it. Yes, that tuba you carry on your shoulder. Sometimes called a contrabass bugle. Now that's a cool name. Contrabass bugle. Rick, you texted and says, "When can you find time to exercise?" He said, "You got to think of it as an investment. Each hour of workout adds a week to your final day." Really? You're adding a week on the end of your life? For 1 hour of exercise? I'm afraid I have too much going on. Hey, I tell you who I'm proud of and needs a round of applause is Beaver. That rascal is getting after it. And he does not let 100 degrees phase him. He goes and does it. And he's putting in the miles walking in places where it's all concrete. So it's one of those deals like we've joked. You know, the temperature is 99, but they say it feels like 109. And I'm like, well, if that's what it feels like, then who cares if it's supposedly 99 some other way? All we care about is what it feels like. I mean, define temperature for me. Define it from the standpoint of the human person, the human being. Temperature is what something feels like. Just give me that. That's all. Just give me that. Don't give me the other one. Give me the one of what it feels like, because otherwise, what do I need the other one for? Unnamed texter, you said, Lord Paul, I got to put you in here because I keep saying unnamed and then it's you. You said, hey, did you ever find that card of yours? I'll send you a return. No, I hadn't found it yet, Paul. Maybe I've lost it. I mean, for all I know. But maybe I've lost it. I probably haven't, but I don't know where it is. And I went through a big cleanup and reorganized deal in the studio recently, but didn't see it. All right. Question. Do you know who everybody's quarterback is in the SEC? Could you name all 16 of them right now if I had a test, if this was a pop quiz? Well, if not, I'm going to help you out. It'll be educational when we come. Something you need to know with practice starting. That and more when we come back in the Bureau. Stick around after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Ogeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea, grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roasted right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Ah, tried and true. Magnolia Blend. High Point Roasters coffee, New Albany.
1059.com.
All right, back with you. Hey, look what, where'd it go? Look what Possum Neck Joe texted me. Joe from Possum Neck texted the show and said, Matt, I just checked out the live stream. It made me feel a little weird, to be honest. And he said, it's a bit, shall we just call it, non-manly to me to just sit and stare at you. Well, Joe, you can participate and consume the live stream without having to sit and stare at me. You can just have it going on your phone and listen. You could, I don't know, look at that Farm Bureau Insurance logo over my shoulder. Look at that. Or this cool thing over here on this screen that's like a football field with a football and the stadium lights. Just look at all that. Look at this microphone here that I've had for 15 years. And 15 years ago, it was top of the line, and now it's probably worth a quarter of what it was when I paid for it. I mean, look at all, you don't have to look at me. Look at this cool Mississippi Outdoors Mossy Oak camo hat. Just look at the hat. You don't have to look at my face. Nobody's forcing you, Joe, to look at my face. So don't complain to me about having to look at me. I mean, take it up with the Lord. He's the one who made me this way. JS290, you said Fahrenheit calibrated for human senses. Celsius calibrated for water boiling and freezing. Well, okay. But the point is, feels like. Let me just see. What does it say? This didn't make any sense. And our meteorologist friends, who I like them all, appreciate them, who want to, pull on some scientific method. There it is, right there. 93 degrees in Tupelo, Mississippi. Underneath it, it says in smaller letters, feels like 104. Well, guess what it actually is then? Here's my point. Do y'all not see what I'm saying? Think about it in plain English. If something feels like 104 degrees, then what's the 93 degrees for? What's that for? Who is that for? Why do we need it? Because I can answer those. You don't need it. Nobody wants it. It's not for anyone. What's even the point? And look at it. If you could see this app on my phone, they put the 93 big, and underneath it, little letters, feels like 104. Guess what? It's 104 because that's what it feels like. That's the only thing temperature is. It's the Let's see what the internet or AI says about this. What is the definition of the word temperature? Ready? Merriam-Webster. A degree of hotness or coldness. Okay, well, what is that? A feeling. The degree of heat that is natural to the body of a living being. Okay, so you're taking your temperature. It's how it feels. Degree of hotness or coldness. It's saying it feels like 104. If that's what I can feel, that's the temperature. If this 93, 11 degrees less, but I can't feel it because all I can feel is 104, then who cares about 93? Call it 83. Call it 73. It doesn't mean anything because I can't feel it. According to this, I can only feel 104. What I'm telling you is, I know this is not a big deal. I know nobody came here today wanting me to solve this for them. I'm just telling you, every time it comes up, I'm like Pete from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? It makes no sense. To quote him, that don't make no sense. It makes no sense. Don't talk me into it. Don't give me some two different kinds of measurements and scientific this and scientific that. No, I'm not the one that chose to write on here on every weather forecast in America to say it's this temperature, but it feels like this. Guess what? Whatever it feels like is what it is. Jason in Flagstaff, you said there was a bunch of almost 130-degree heat indexes a couple days ago. I don't think they go by that, you said, officially, because they know the formula sounds ridiculous at some point. I mean, it does at some point. Reggie, you said, evening, this season is MSU's floor higher or is the ceiling lower? Reggie, did you mean that question? Because I just got a great big kick out of that. This season, is MSU's floor higher or the ceiling lower? I'm confused, Reggie. You got me. I'm confused. What do you want to know? Hey, you got me. I don't know how to answer that. I don't know if it's a yes/no question or what I'm looking for there. Should I just say yes? The floor is higher, but the ceiling is. I mean, the ceiling, I don't know. But I'm going to remember that. I'm going to use it on people in press conferences, maybe to just confuse them. Okay, and Gene on Facebook, you were asking, what do you think about daylight savings time? Yeah, I don't really care because to me, we're talking about an hour difference. And because, I'm a little biased because I work for myself. So it's not like 6 o'clock versus 7 o'clock makes a huge difference to me. Does that make sense? And so I know we got a certain amount of daylight. One time a year it says 6, another time a year it's the same time. We say 7, and then we switch it back. And I know that the House voted on doing away with it. So I don't really care one way or the other myself. Because whether the sun's up or not, I'm getting up at a certain time. Whether the sun is out or not, I got things to do, I'll stay out and do it. It's just one of those. Now, the funniest thing I've ever heard about it is my sister-in-law, the way she words it is, I don't believe in daylight savings time. And I'm like, okay, but what do you mean by that? How can you not believe in it when they do it? I don't know. I just don't believe in it. That one always confuses me too. Yeah. What did I tell you we were going to do? Oh, I know what it was. It was quarterbacks. I told you we were going to go over everybody's quarterback in the SEC. What happened to me this week is a friend of mine in Mobile that does radio. I agreed to do an interview on his show, and I had been saying no for years because I just kind of decided I was out, that if it wasn't state, I was out. Now I'm getting back in because I've decided it's fine for me to be interested in the X's and O's of the game and then just ignore everything else. Well, I was going to do it. He wanted to talk quarterbacks, and I didn't even know who they were, so I started looking and studying. And I found this thing that was really helpful about the projected quarterbacks at all 16 schools, and I wonder if you know them. Alabama's got a battle. It'll either be Keelan Russell, the freshman, or the big tall guy, Mack. I bet Russell wins it eventually. There's a battle going on at Arkansas. They said they don't know yet. KJ Jackson and AJ Hill. I don't know a ton about either one of those. Jackson played a little bit for him last year, and Hill was playing at Memphis for Silverfield, so he came over. Florida's got a battle going on. They're saying that this kid, is it Philo? Aaron Philo? I think that's how you say it. He played in 8 games at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's coordinator, Buster Faulkner, is at Florida now. And so they're saying he's probably projected to be the number 1 guy. And then at Tennessee, it's either going to be George McIntyre, who's been there, or a guy transferring in named Faison Brandon. Everybody talks about Faison Brandon. He's on the all-name team. I'll tell you what I know about him and others coming up. Assuming we don't get into talking about time changes and feels like temperatures. But you just never know. I'm Matt in the Bureau. A little bit of time left with you here today on this Thursday. Stick around. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Deli's, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton, we say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash, and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender. Hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together.
On 1059.com.
Yeah, back with you, JS290. I agree. You said Buster Faulkner, a really good offensive coordinator. He is. Did a heck of a job at Georgia Tech. And where is he now? Florida? Yeah, I mean, everything about what they've done from hiring, the guy from Tulane and putting that staff together, it all just kind of passes the smell test. JS290, you said, is Bama losing Sayin to OSU like Georgia losing Justin Fields to OSU, i.e. someone has penciled in as an incumbent? Well, he's been there a couple of years already. Man, that kid can evermore throw it. You talk about accurate. And the thing about Julian Sayin is, super good athlete. Wouldn't be their starter if he wasn't, but it's not like he's this overwhelming athletic type of prospect. He's not huge. He's not the fastest guy. He's good enough in all those areas, but man, led the country in completion percentage. When he lets it go, and even in the red zone where it's hard, timing is good and the accuracy is ridiculous. I'm impressed with him. Okay, so here's what you need to know. Quarterbacks in the SEC. I bet it'll be the Russell kid before it's over with. I looked him up, watched a little bit. Mack's been there. He was a backup last year. He's big, 6'6", 230-something. He doesn't look 235, 240 because he's so tall, He moves around really good, throws it, low release, doesn't have a high release, but most quarterbacks have a kind of a low deal. I mean, it's just off the shoulder. But the other kid, Russell, he reminds me of Bryce Young, except flashier, maybe a little more lightning, running and throwing. And, very Bryce Young about him. Real cool, real accurate. Ball comes right off his shoulder. Tight, short release like Bryce Young. Doesn't have to have his feet perfect to be accurate, so reminds me of him. Don't know. I haven't watched the kids at Arkansas who's competing there, so I can't speak to that, nor the kids at Florida. Tennessee, they project that Faison Brandon to play. I know we've talked about him before when we previewed Tennessee. Vandy. So Vandy's got 2 guys, including one they just signed named Jared Curtis, who's this great big true freshman out of Nashville Christian. He was like everybody in the country was trying to sign him type of kid. He stays home. Vandy gets him, and they're saying that because of what they had to invest to get him to come there, they're going to play him. That's what a lot of people are saying about it. So you would expect him to probably be good, but maybe a few growing pains too if you're going to go play for the first time. So then you get down to the guys Okay, so here they are. Marcel Reed at A&M. I felt like last year, he's good in every way you want him to be good. He just wasn't as consistently accurate with the ball as some of the other guys, but really good player. Arch Manning at Texas, Lenore Sellers, South Carolina. His deal, he's just got to avoid the big mistake. In big games, he'd have 1 or 2 big mistakes that would make a difference. He'd otherwise do a lot of really good stuff. Chambliss at Ole Miss, Mateer at Oklahoma, Simmons at Missouri. We'll see. Should help Missouri in that they have an offense. They don't really build it around the quarterback anyway. Taylor at State, Levitt at LSU. We've seen him. And I bet it'll be good. If he plays, I bet it'll be good. Kiffin has a little bit of a magic wand with quarterbacks. Kenny Minchey at Kentucky, and I don't know much about him. Stockton at Georgia, super underrated, really tough. I was impressed with him last year. Tough as nails. Much better athlete, pressure and defenses running than he got credit for. Certainly good enough to do that. Really good under center play action stuff, kind of old school in that way. I like that guy. And then that kid, Byron Brown from Auburn. He's from South Florida. We talked about them. And I think you need to draw a red circle around his name because I went and watched. At South Florida, he's playing against the likes of Florida International and Rice and Memphis and UAB, and that's his schedule for the most part. Now, they did beat Florida last year when they had an opportunity. They beat Florida State one year. But throughout the year, that's what you're talking about. And now it's going to be LSU one week and A&M the next week and Alabama at the end, and in between it'll be Ole Miss. So it's going to be a whole different deal. But that guy is a ball player. 230-something pounds, can really run, does not mind contact one bit, kind of runs to it. Reminds me of Arch Manning a little bit in that way. He just run right into it. But this guy, he's that kind of runner now. Like he's really a plus runner, and does a really good job throwing the ball, and throws it off his hip. I mean, it's a windup. He had some highlights at South Florida throwing deep balls where it's like if you were out there getting loose for a softball game and you pat and you drop that ball all the way down and come from underneath, and man, but he gets it done. I think depending on what kind of team they have around him, and yes, it's going to be a whole different level of competition week in and week out, but that guy, I'm interested to see what he's going to look like in the SEC. That's a ball player right there now. That kid at Auburn. And all you get, he's one of those, you turn it on, all you got to do is watch about 5 or 6 plays, and you go, okay, all right. I will be paying attention. That's the way I felt about it. Byram Brown is his name. And this is something we can get into later. We don't really have a ton of time left here on this show to really break it down. I didn't get to watch Chambliss, the quarterback at Ole Miss, a ton last year. It seems like every time they were playing, we were either playing or in the booth at the stadium getting ready for the game. Of course, I saw him in person against State at the end, and then I didn't see any of the postseason games. So it was almost kind of the other day going and watching this. It was kind of new to me. And something jumped out at me. I just had this thought. Light bulb went off over my head. And so then I bounced this idea off a couple of people who are former players, analysts, just to see what they thought. And there's a little something to this. A comparison. There's a lot similar, not similar but different. And I'll tell you the differences. But I've referenced this before. Lane Kiffin, a little bit of a magic wand with quarterbacks. Particularly what he did with Blake Sims at Alabama in 2014. Blake Sims converted from another position. He had played running back when he first came in. They converted him to quarterback. Of course, he had played in high school. He's 6 feet tall, 205 pounds. Might have been 6'1" in shoes, but probably 6 feet tall, 205 pounds. And led him to the number 1 team in the country. Played in the national title game, didn't get it done. Set an Alabama single-season passing record under Lane Kiffin, and I guess it got broken by Tua. A 4.4 guy on a hand time 40, 4.5 on a laser. Hurt people running the ball with like 8 touchdowns or something that year. Threw for almost 4,000 yards. Lots of touchdowns, very few interceptions, took care of it. The stats and the numbers very similar to what the Ole Miss kid did last year, almost 4,000 yards. Great touchdown to interception. Ran forever how many touchdowns to go with it. 6 feet tall, maybe 6'1" in shoes like Sims. 4.4 on a hand time, 4.5 on a laser. Plenty fast enough, great athlete. And led him to basically right at, close to number 1 in the country, not quite. And was used that way. Same coach, putting an offense around him. Now, they were a decade apart, so there's differences in the offensive stuff. Now it's more RPO than it was in 2014. And Blake Sims at Alabama in 2014, record setter. Unbelievable what Kiffin did with him. He had Derrick Henry in the backfield, and he had Amari Cooper outside. So Amari Cooper got the ball all the time. If you go and look, the passing game was kind of very one-dimensional for Alabama back then compared to what, say, Ole Miss would have done last year. Ole Miss spread the ball around everybody. Didn't have an Amari Cooper. they had him already. So, like, he was the bailout. Just throw it to 19 or whatever he wore. And Derrick Henry got the ball. So it's a little different in that regard also. But a lot of similarities in 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, 4.445, throw and run, record-setting passing, great touchdown to interception, run the ball and threaten, 8 to 10 rushing touchdowns as well and facilitate the whole thing. Same offensive coordinator, 10 years apart. There's some comparison there. And again, a lot of it's whatever magic dust Kiffin's got. All right. That'll wrap it up for today. I enjoyed it. We're going to have a Friday show tomorrow. Be a Friday free-for-all, and I will see you then. For Beaver, I'm Matt. See you then. Same time, same place. See you.